Hello everyone, this is Sobriety with Drake, the YouTube channel where we talk about all things addiction, recovery, and sobriety related. And for today's video, it's going to be another video in my series of the Intervention Where Are They Now videos. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about Sierra from season 15, episode 2 of Intervention, whose episode premiered on March of 2016. And Sierra was a 19-year-old crystal meth addict. Some memorable moments from Sierra's episode are just her very severe, extreme, episodes of meth psychosis that she shows during the episode. Also, there were scenes of her mom and her friends driving around trying to find her, and then they would find her at this random gas station where she was just in severe psychosis, going on about random things, or at the scene where they found her at some drug dealer's house where she ran away from the cops who were called, and they tackled her and handcuffed her and took her away. Also, she's very well known for her iconic line, do you know what today is? Today is Feed a Juggalo at Red Lobster. That very iconic random spout of information that she said in her meth psychosis that a lot of people in the intervention community talk about. So those are some things you might remember about Sierra's episode. But now we'll get into what she's been up to since the show. But first we'll start off with how the episode ended and where they said she was at that point. So the episode ends with Sierra going to treatment, and they show her at treatment, and then when all the footage ends, they have some words on the screen that say that after 61 days of being at treatment, she had a slip, but then she recommitted to treatment, and that she had planned to go to a sober living facility in Florida after completing treatment. Then the show states that she's been sober since February 16th, 2016, but this was mentioned at the time the episode premiered, which was March 13th, 2016, which means when the episode premiered, she had about a month of sobriety. So the first update we have on Sierra since the show aired was on May 17th, 2016, so about 2 months after the show aired. An anonymous user on interventiondirectory.com said that Sierra was dating her boyfriend Brant still from the show, and also was back in her hometown and had seen her family. A couple months later, on July 20th, 2016, another anonymous commenter posted that they were Facebook friends with Sierra and that she was actually no longer dating Brant, but that she had been posting a lot of negative things on her social media, nothing that had to do with using or that she was actively doing drugs or anything, but a lot of the posts she was posting about were about how she negatively viewed the show and didn't like how they portrayed her, and also a lot of stuff to do with anti police and law enforcement. Not much was heard about from Sierra the next few years, but on May 31st, 2019, another user commented that Sierra and her boyfriend Brant were actually back together and living with her and that they were doing well. However, shortly after this comment was posted, an article was released by Reading Police, the city that she lives in, saying that Sierra was on their most wanted list. What this might have been referring to was on June 2019, Sierra was arrested with 3 charges: possession of burglary tools, possession of drug paraphernalia, and receiving or concealing stolen property. In June 2020, Sierra was sentenced to 3 years in prison. About a year later, on June 26, 2021, a commenter on the Intervention Directory website commented that Sierra had gotten out of jail about a week ago, so I'm guessing she didn't fully go to prison, that maybe she got sent to a shorter sentence in jail, but it was said there that she was released from jail at this point in June 2021. I'm guessing after this release, Sierra was put on parole because about a year later, on July 15th, 2022, an article was published saying that Sierra, who was on parole at the time, was found with fentanyl in her hotel room. It was later found that she was with 2 other people at a deluxe inn, and that they found fentanyl, heroin, and drug paraphernalia in the hotel room. Here's a picture of her mugshot from that arrest. In December of that same year, 2022, Sierra failed to appear in court and had a warrant issued for her arrest. About a month later, on January 21st, 2023, Sierra was once again arrested, but this time for public intoxication. Now, in the last 2 years, 2024 and 2025, it unfortunately seems like Sierra has gone down a really downward spiral. In 2024, Sierra was arrested 11 times, 7 times for public intoxication, once for being under the influence of a controlled substance, once for possession of a controlled substance, once for possession of drug paraphernalia, and once for battery. In 2025 so far, Sierra has been arrested 8 times, and these charges include multiple occasions of public intoxication and resisting arrest, as well as one arrest for concealing stolen property. The most recent of these 2025 arrests actually just happened on July 7th, which was about a week ago of me filming this video. So all of this is just very unfortunate to hear about Sierra. She was one of the addicts that was so memorable from the show. Even though through all the meth psychosis and deranged behavior, she was very likable deep down, and I really rooted for her. Her mom was like such a sweetheart, I remember, and she had such a great supportive community around her of sober people, like sober friends and her sober family. So I was really rooting for her, and it's really unfortunate that she seemed to go down this downward spiral the last few years. I'm hoping that, like, if anyone that knows Sierra sees this, or if she sees this, to tell her that it's never too late to change your life and get sober. Like, you have so much capacity to grow and become the person that you want to be. It's never too late. Like, you never, unless you're dead, you can still change your life around. Like, nothing's going to hold you back. You can do it, and there's a lot of people rooting for you. So I hope everyone that watches this video prays for Sierra. I hope she finds like the happiness that she deserves. And if you like this video or found it interesting or would like to see more of my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.